Hello and welcome to Shell Point today for Thursday, November 24th. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Adam Brown. On today's show, Jerry Nanfelt will give us an update on this year's Employee Christmas Fund Drive, and we'll acknowledge Thanksgiving with a special segment. But first, we'd like to remind you of movie night coming next Monday. In the Social Center at 6:45, you can enjoy the 1948 film The Search. This Academy Award-winning film is said to be a milestone in filmmaking. After surviving Auschwitz in Germany, a young Czech boy is determined to reunite with his mother, holding out hope that she is still alive. The boy is befriended by an American soldier who teaches him English phrases and even considers bringing him back to the United States. However, nothing can deter the boy from looking for his mother, who is also desperately searching for him. Don't miss this captivating film in the Social Center at 6:45 on Monday. The end is drawing near for this year's Employee Christmas Fund Drive. Jerry Nanfelt is standing by to give you an update and to talk about being blessed to live here at Shell Point and the reasons why.
A few days ago, my husband and I were driving home from Sanibel. Suddenly, right in front of us was a huge billboard which read, "Life's good here." It was then that we noticed the billboard was advertising Shell Point, our home. I'm Jerry Nanfelt, and I live here at Shell Point with my husband, Peter. We absolutely love living at Shell Point, and we agree wholeheartedly with the sentiment on that sign, "Life is good here." We often comment to each other how blessed we are to live in such a happy, beautiful, and safe place. And I know that you feel the same way too. We feel this way about Shell Point for many reasons. First, there's you. Yes, there's you, the residents. Where else could Peter and I live among such talented, generous, interesting, and caring people? Nowhere. You are our neighbors and friends. You are the residents that make life good here. Also, the dedicated and committed employees make a major contribution to the good life we experience at Shell Point. Our faithful workers are the very best, providing friendly, round-the-clock safety and service. They supply the infrastructure and backbone for the good life at Shell Point. Every day, the employees definitely make life good for us here. That's why at each Christmas season, we, the Shell Point residents, say thank you to the Shell Point employees by giving them a gift of money. Christmas is the season of gift giving. It's the perfect time for us to show our appreciation to the employees who make life good here. I have had the privilege of serving as the chairperson of the Employee Christmas Fund Committee this year. My committee has reached out to you, the residents, in many different ways throughout the year to ask you to support this effort, which we have called this year, Giving Thanks. Many of you have responded, and I want to personally thank each of you that have responded already. Your gifts have been appreciated so very much, and the lives of our employees will be blessed by each of your gifts. To those of you who have not yet given to the Employee Christmas Fund this year, you still have an opportunity to do so. Maybe before giving you want more information. You can find that information if you go to our website, www.shellpoint.net/Christmas-Fund. I think you'll find most of the answers to your questions there. If you don't, just give me a call, Jerry, at 989-1332. I will be more than happy to talk to you about the Christmas Fund. If you are ready to contribute, and I hope you are, some of you like to give at the end of the year, I know that, and it is the end of the year. I invite you to write your check today, right now. Why wait? The deadline for receiving funds for this year is December 2nd. Make your checks payable to Shell Point and write Employee Christmas Fund on the memo line. Then mail your checks to the Shell Point cashier or put them in the envelope we have put in your box a few days ago. And you can also put them in the beautiful Christmas boxes we've provided for you on the campus. One is at the Activity Center on the island. One is at the Woodlands, the Commons desk there, and one in the desk as you enter the pavilion. Just put your checks right there. And we would thank you for joining us and helping to make this year's Christmas gift to our employees the grandest yet.
For more than 2 centuries, days of Thanksgiving were celebrated by individual colonies and states. But in 1863, in the midst of the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed a National Thanksgiving Day to be held each November. Well, old Uncle Abe is no longer with us to explain Thanksgiving due to the unfortunate events that took place at Ford's Theater. So we got the next best thing. Instead of Uncle Abe, here's Colonel Sanders.
Well, hello there. Colonel Highland Sanders here, and I'm honored to be back here visiting once again with all of you at Shell Point on this special holiday. Now, you might say that I'm thankful. What? Nobody else around here thought that was funny? Oh, well. Now, I've taken a break today from selling my delicious fried chicken, which, by the way, is available for your convenience at any of my more than 4,000 locations nationwide. Yes, I'm actually here to talk about why we celebrate Thanksgiving and what it means to me personally. Now, for more than 2 centuries, days of Thanksgiving were celebrated by the individual colonies and the states. But in 1863, during the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed a National Thanksgiving Day to be held each November. Now wait a minute. I thought Thanksgiving was about the Pilgrims and the Indians coming together and having a big feast. Now, there was the first Thanksgiving. Okay, let me tell the story my way. Now, you see, back in the 1600s, way before the Civil War, the great colonels like myself, there were the early settlers of Massachusetts called Pilgrims. Now, after a hard winter, the local native tribes taught them about hunting and fishing and how to store up their food. Now, by the next autumn harvest, they had a big celebration. It was quite a feast. But unlike the current tradition, there was no turkey. No, they had goose and they had fish, and of course, they had some fried chicken, just like here. Now, unfortunately, there were no skilled chefs like yours truly. No, they didn't have them delicious 11 herbs and spices on their chicken. You got to travel down to the great state of Kentucky for that, the home of my delicious secret recipe that has won the world over. Now, right now, you can get a delicious, finger-licking good 10-piece meal for... Oh, okay, we'll stick to Thanksgiving. Oh, okay. So, my friends, on this special day, we take time to come together with friends and family to give thanks. Now, don't forget to celebrate just like the Pilgrims did. By now, you can do it better with our delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken. Just visit one of the... Oh, yeah. What? Time's up? I'm just getting started. Well, one more thing. I got to tell them about the mashed potatoes and the gravy, or how the extra crispy recipe came to be. Well, okay, just one more thing before we go. Shell Point, happy Thanksgiving. Now, go out and celebrate a delicious meal. You know what's really delicious, don't you? Because it's so good, you gotta gobble it up. Now, wait a minute, you know that's funny. Gobble it? Some people don't understand humor.
And now it's time to cover all today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This is the happening segment of Shell Point TV, and I'm Bev Chandley. We have 3 activities offered for you here today on Thanksgiving. We have an 8 o'clock Men's Golf Association at the Shell Point Golf Club. We have a 2 o'clock stamp ministry going on in the stamp room on the island, and we have a 4:30 Alcoholics Anonymous meeting at the Sable Room. We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath. I'm the manager of the Academy of Lifelong Learning, and we have no classes today because it is Thanksgiving Day. Offices will be closed, and the Academy and I wish you a blessed and happy Thanksgiving.
Menus for Thanksgiving Day. In the Crystal Room, they are featuring a Thanksgiving buffet for $27.95, and they will be closed for dinner. In the Island Cafe, the sandwich special is a hot turkey sandwich with green beans and stuffing for $7.95. And the Palm Grill features a Thanksgiving special menu from 11 until 4. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and happy Thanksgiving. Now, you know, as I think about the events that led to the first Thanksgiving, one of the things that occurs to me was what a lousy travel agent the Pilgrims had. The Pilgrims were a bunch of Protestant Calvinist Christians who had separated themselves from the Church of England. Their religious freedom was restricted in England, so in 1608 they left England and settled in the Netherlands. And while they were able to worship according to their consciences in Holland, they found the culture there objectionable both morally and economically. And so after 11 years of struggle, they sought yet another alternative. And that's where their lousy travel agent got involved. He put 102 of them on a cruise across the Atlantic Ocean starting in September of 1620. That meant that the 3-month voyage had them landing in Massachusetts in November, a terrible time of the year to establish a colony. This was not the growing season for anything, except perhaps for disease. And so once they landed in late November, the first thing they did was have a prayer meeting. These people were serious about their faith and knew that their welfare depended on God. But once their prayer service was over, they got to work, building shelters, doing the best they could to prepare for the winter, which would come quickly. And the winter did come quickly and wreaked havoc among the Pilgrim settlers. Nearly half of their population died in the first year. But once spring arrived, a new optimism spread. Crops were planted, many of the sick recovered, and with the help of new Native American friends, they produced a rich harvest in the summer of 1621. William Bradford, the governor of the colony, would write, "They began now to gather in the small harvest they had and to fit up their houses and dwellings against winter, being well recovered in health and strength, and had all things in good plenty. For some were thus employed in affairs abroad, others were exercised in fishing, about cod and bass and other fish, of which they took good store, of which every family had their portion. All summer there was no want, and besides waterfowl there was a great store of wild turkeys, of which they took many, besides venison, etc." Well, Edward Winslow, also among the Pilgrims, wrote to a friend and recounted the first feast as it unfolded. He said, "Many of the Indians coming amongst us, and among the rest of their greatest, King Massasoit, with some 90 men, whom for 3 days we entertained and feasted. And they went out and killed 5 deer, which they brought to the plantation, and bestowed upon our governor and upon the captain and others. And although it be not always so plentiful as it was at this time with us, yet by the goodness of God we are so far from want that we often wish you partakers of our plenty." Now this story, of course, is the stuff on which legends are built, but this was a legend rooted in reality. A harsh reality, to be sure, but a reality experienced by a people of implicit faith in a sovereign and loving God, in fact, the God of the Bible. It was no surprise then that regular Thanksgiving feasts began to be celebrated, beginning in New England, spreading south, and later becoming institutionalized by the Continental Congress of the fledgling nation which would become the United States. Samuel Adams inaugurated the first Thanksgiving proclamation with these words, "Forasmuch as it is the indispensable duty of all men to adore the superintending providence of Almighty God, to acknowledge with gratitude their obligation to Him for benefits received, together with penitent confession of their sins, whereby they had forfeited every favor, and their humble and earnest supplications that it may please God through the merits of Jesus Christ, mercifully to forgive and blot them out of remembrance. It is therefore recommended to set apart Thursday, the 18th day of December next, for solemn thanksgiving and praise, that with one heart and one voice the good people may express the grateful feeling of their hearts and consecrate themselves to the service of their divine benefactor." You know, we are far removed from those historical events, but I hope not too far removed from them in our attitudes and dispositions. And as we eat turkey and watch football, I trust that you will take time to express genuine thanksgiving to the God of all creation for the extraordinary blessings that we enjoy. And so may God richly bless you this very special holiday. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and thank you for joining us on Village Church Connections.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. On tomorrow's program, Margie Lee will bring us another talented artist in our Art Chat segment. We'll get a behind-the-scenes look at some changes happening here in our SPTV studios, and we'll recap the top stories from this week. This has been Shell Point Today for Thursday, November 24th. I'm Adam Brown, and on behalf of everyone here, we'd like to wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.